Have you ever felt like you're constantly juggling? Work deadlines, family needs, and endless chores all competing for your attention. It's a familiar scene for many of us in today's fast-paced world. Imagine rushing to finish a work presentation while your phone buzzes and your child asks for help with homework. You feel pulled in a million directions, your mind racing with to-do lists. This constant juggling act can leave us stressed and wondering if balance is even possible. The phrase work-life balance gets thrown around a lot, but what does it really mean? Is it about splitting time equally or finding harmony? Many of us believe we need to excel in all areas of life at once, but striving for this ideal can leave us feeling like we're failing. What if, instead of chasing perfection, we focused on fulfillment and flexibility? Let's challenge the myths and uncover practical strategies for a life that feels both fulfilling and sustainable. Perfect work-life balance often conjures images of neatly divided calendars and effortless transitions. But life is rarely predictable or linear. Unexpected events pop up, priorities shift, and trying to maintain a rigid schedule can leave us feeling like failures. The pursuit of perfect balance can also lead to guilt and inadequacy. When we have to prioritize one area over another, we may feel like we're letting someone down. This constant pressure is exhausting and demoralizing. It's time to ditch the illusion of equality and embrace a more compassionate approach. Instead of a perfectly balanced scale, imagine work-life balance as a seesaw. Sometimes work demands more. Other times, family or rest takes priority. Embracing this seesaw means accepting the natural ebb and flow of life. It's about finding a sustainable rhythm, not perfection. Let go of the need to control every aspect and adapt to shifting priorities. In our hyper-connected world, it's easy to compare our lives to others. Social media shows only the highlights, not the messy reality. We're all juggling multiple roles, trying to find our own balance. Comparing ourselves to others damages self-esteem and distracts from our own journey. Focus on creating a life that feels authentic and fulfilling for you. Instead of striving for static balance, aim for harmony, a more fluid, dynamic approach. Harmony means finding a rhythm that lets us pursue passions, nurture relationships, and care for ourselves. Work-life integration is a continuous process, requiring ongoing adjustments. Embrace flexibility and let go of perfection. Create a life that reflects your unique values and aspirations. Life is rarely predictable. Just when you think you've got it figured out, a curveball, like a sick child or urgent deadline, throws your plans off. These moments test our ability to adapt. Flexibility becomes essential, helping us adjust without losing sight of what matters. Sometimes life throws us curveballs, and that's okay. Flexibility isn't about giving up on our goals. It's about finding creative solutions and making adjustments when needed. When unexpected events arise, take a breath and reassess. Can you delegate, reschedule, or ask for help? Sometimes flexibility means letting go of perfection. Give yourself permission to adjust expectations and prioritize what's truly important. Flexibility is often misunderstood as weakness, but it's actually a tremendous strength. It takes courage to adjust plans, ask for help, and prioritize well-being. Flexibility helps us move forward even when life takes unexpected turns. Embrace it as an essential skill for navigating work and life with resilience. Think of life like a river. It meanders, navigates obstacles, and always finds its way. Flexibility in work-life integration is much the same. Instead of controlling every detail, embrace the natural rhythm of ebb and flow. Hold your plans with an open hand, ready to adapt. Life is a journey, and flexibility lets us enjoy the ride, even when it gets bumpy. Setting priorities is essential for finding balance and fulfillment. Think of it as creating a roadmap for your time and energy. But first, ask yourself, what truly matters most? Relationships, career, health, or something else? We rarely pause to consider what brings us joy and purpose. This self-reflection forms the foundation for a more intentional life. Once you know your values, create a flexible list of priorities. Brainstorm all the important areas in your life: work, family, health, growth, hobbies, community. Rank them in order of importance right now. Remember, priorities shift at different life stages. If you're launching a business, work may take center stage. If you have young children, family time might be the top priority. The goal isn't perfect balance, but clarity on what matters most. With clear priorities, you'll need to adjust your schedule and commitments. This often means learning to say no to things that don't align with your values. Saying no can be uncomfortable, but it frees up time for what truly matters. You don't always need a lengthy explanation. A simple, "Thank you, but I can't commit right now," is enough. Protect your time and energy for what's most important. Listing priorities is just the start. Consistent action brings them to life. Look for small, practical ways to integrate your priorities daily. If family time matters, try a nightly dinner ritual. If health is a goal, schedule short workouts. Start small. You don't have to overhaul your life overnight. Even small changes make a big difference. Progress, not perfection, leads to a more balanced, meaningful life. Imagine your life force as a car. You wouldn't drive for miles without refueling. Yet, we often push ourselves to the limit without recharging. Self-care isn't a luxury, it's essential fuel for our well-being. When we prioritize self-care, we show up better for ourselves and others. Remember, you can't pour from an empty cup. One of the biggest misconceptions about self-care is that it's inherently selfish. We're conditioned to believe that putting ourselves first is somehow indulgent or neglectful of others. But the truth is, taking care of ourselves allows us to better care for those around us. When we're feeling depleted, stressed, and burnt out, it's incredibly difficult to show up for others in a meaningful way. Our patience wears thin, our energy levels plummet, and our ability to connect genuinely with loved ones suffers. Think about it this way. On an airplane, passengers are instructed to put on their own oxygen masks before assisting others. Why? Because you can't effectively help someone else if you're struggling to breathe yourself. The same principle applies to self-care. By prioritizing our own well-being, we become better equipped to support and care for the people we love. Self-care isn't a one-size-fits-all endeavor. What feels restorative and rejuvenating for one person might feel utterly draining for another. The key is to find what works for you, what helps you feel grounded, energized, and more like yourself. For some, self-care might involve indulging in a long, hot bath, curling up with a good book, or simply enjoying a quiet cup of tea. For others, it might mean going for a run, taking a yoga class, or spending time in nature. There's no right or wrong way to practice self-care, as long as it leaves you feeling refreshed and recharged. So, experiment with different activities and see what resonates with you. Pay attention to how you feel during and after engaging in different practices. The goal is to discover what truly nourishes your mind, body, and soul. One of the biggest challenges in prioritizing self-care is finding the time. Our days are often packed with responsibilities, deadlines, and unexpected demands that seem to pop up out of nowhere. It's easy for self-care to get pushed to the bottom of our to-do lists, especially when we're feeling pulled in multiple directions and trying to keep up with everything at once. That's why it's crucial to treat self-care as a non-negotiable appointment, something you schedule into your day, just like any other important commitment or meeting. This might mean blocking out 30 minutes in the morning for a workout, a walk, or some gentle stretching to start your day with intention. Or it could be scheduling in an hour on Sunday evening for a relaxing bath, giving yourself time to unwind and recharge before the week ahead. It might even be as simple as setting aside 15 minutes before bed to read a book, journal, or just enjoy some quiet reflection. The key is to be intentional about making time for yourself, even if it's just for a few minutes each day. Small moments add up and can make a big difference over time. Remember, self-care is not selfish. It's a vital part of maintaining your mental, emotional, and physical health. It's an investment in your own well-being, which in turn allows you to be more present, more patient, and more engaged in all areas of your life, from work to family to personal growth. So, go ahead, schedule that massage, book that yoga class, or plan a quiet moment just for yourself. Or simply give yourself permission to take a well-deserved break. You deserve it, and your future self will thank you for making self-care a true priority. Imagine having a beautiful garden filled with vibrant flowers and lush, thriving plants. Each blossom is a result of your care and attention, creating a space that feels safe and inviting. Now, picture that same garden without any fences or boundaries at all. Anyone could wander in, trample the delicate flowers, and disrupt the harmony you've worked so hard to create. The sense of peace and tranquility would quickly fade away, replaced by chaos and disorder. Our lives are much like this garden. Boundaries are the fences that protect our time, energy, and emotional well-being, allowing us to flourish in our own unique way. They help us define what we're willing to tolerate and what we're not, allowing us to create a space of peace and intentionality amidst the busyness of life. With boundaries, we can nurture ourselves and focus on what truly matters. Without clear boundaries, it's easy to feel overwhelmed, resentful, and taken advantage of. Our energy gets scattered and we lose sight of our own needs. We might find ourselves constantly saying yes to requests, even when we're already feeling stretched thin, simply because we don't want to disappoint others. Or we might allow other people's priorities and demands to dictate how we spend our time and energy, leaving little room for our own goals and passions. Setting boundaries is a way of honoring our own needs and limits. It's an act of self-respect and self-care, reminding us that our well-being matters. It's a way of saying, I value myself and my well-being enough to protect my time and energy. By doing so, we create space for rest, joy, and meaningful connections. It's about recognizing that we have a right to say no without feeling guilty or selfish. Healthy boundaries empower us to live more authentically and intentionally, making room for what truly enriches our lives. Saying no can be a powerful act of self-care. It's not just about turning down requests, it's about honoring your own needs and making space for what truly matters to you. It's a way of setting healthy limits and protecting our own well-being, both mentally and physically. Boundaries help us conserve our energy for the things and people that are most important. Yet, for many of us, saying no can feel incredibly difficult. The urge to please others or avoid conflict can be strong, making it hard to speak up for ourselves. We might worry about disappointing others, damaging relationships, or missing out on opportunities. These fears can make us second-guess our instincts. We might feel pressured to say yes out of obligation, guilt, or a fear of conflict. Sometimes, we even convince ourselves that our own needs are less important. However, it's important to remember that every time we say yes to something we don't truly want, we're essentially saying no to something else, something that might be more aligned with our values, priorities, or simply our need for rest and rejuvenation. Protecting your time is an act of self-respect. Start by recognizing that you have a right to say no. Your time and energy are valuable resources, and you get to choose how to spend them. You are not obligated to explain yourself or provide lengthy justifications. A clear and kind response is enough. A simple, "Thank you for thinking of me, but I'm not able to commit to that right now," or "I appreciate you asking, but I need to prioritize some other commitments at the moment," is often sufficient. Practicing these responses can make saying no feel more natural over time. Remember, saying no is not about being rude or dismissive. It's about respecting both your needs and the needs of others. It's about being honest with yourself and others about your limits and priorities. When you communicate clearly, you set an example for healthy boundaries. It's about making choices that support your overall well-being and allow you to show up as your best self in all areas of your life. By protecting your time and energy, you create space for growth, joy, and meaningful connections. So, can you really have it all? Perhaps the better question is, what does having it all actually mean to you? If it means achieving a state of perfect balance, where every area of life receives equal attention all the time, then the answer might be a bit more nuanced. The truth is, work-life balance isn't about rigidly dividing our time or striving for an unattainable ideal. It's about making conscious choices, setting priorities, and being flexible enough to adapt as life throws us inevitable curveballs. It's about letting go of the need for perfection and embracing the messy, imperfect reality that is life. It's about recognizing that there will be times when work demands more attention, and times when family, personal well-being, or simply the need for rest will take center stage. The journey to a fulfilling life is not about checking off boxes or achieving some predetermined definition of success. It's about creating a life that feels authentic and meaningful to you, one that reflects your values, passions, and aspirations. It's about finding joy in the everyday moments, cultivating strong relationships, and prioritizing your own well-being. It's about embracing flexibility, setting boundaries, and saying yes to the opportunities that light you up while politely declining those that don't. Remember, you are the author of your own life story. You have the power to define what success looks like for you and to create a life that feels balanced, fulfilling, and aligned with your deepest values. It won't always be easy, and there will be times when you feel like you're juggling a million things at once. But by prioritizing self-care, setting boundaries, and staying connected to what truly matters, you'll be well on your way to creating a life you love.